senior citizens who were practicing a group of exercises that were referred to as shabashi. I've benefited a lot from doing those exercises regularly, but I find it is very important to have good posture, and which is useful in everyday life. An easy way to think about your good posture is just by sitting on a dining chair. If you sit on a dining chair with your feet flat on the ground and your knees at right angles and your weight distributed evenly over your thighs and your buttocks, I will demonstrate what I'm talking about. Feet shoulder width apart. Sit down carefully on the dining chair with your knees at right angles and your weight firmly distributed on both thighs and your buttocks. That will help your back. Let your arms relax easily by your side, which will drop your shoulders, and that will give you a certain amount of relaxation and good posture.
Yeah.
Then just make sure that your chin's not sticking up. Just tuck your chin in a little bit and sit there and relax. And I find that you can do that anytime when you're sitting at the table having a meal.
Which is a brilliant everyday thing to do, isn't it?
It's an everyday thing you can do. Even when you're sitting having a meal, just be aware that you might be slouching and put yourself back into reasonably good posture. And if you put your hands relaxed in your lap, it's similar to letting them go either sides.
That's excellent. Do you think it's a good idea? Would you like to talk about some of your flexi exercise things? Because that's another thing you can do.
And again, from here, you can do a very lovely sort of relaxing movement with your hands, just circling them from the wrist, 6 or 8, 10 times one way, and 6 or 8 times the other. And then going on from that, if you're able to stand easily, you can stand and put yourself in a similar posture, standing up.
Yeah, and still.
And again, you could even do some gentle.
Feels good, doesn't it? Yeah. Are you doing with your? Because I know you're not very happy with breathing control, are you? So
no, I'm not.
You don't find you're doing it with your breathing, yeah.
And you could do.
You do it sitting down.
You could do that even sitting down.
Yeah. That's a good one.
And even to open the chest.
And this is the stuff you were doing with flexi exercises as well, because it's very similar to Tai Chi, isn't it? Yeah.
Flexi exercise. You didn't do this. I can't remember.
We used to do a bit of it at the football club. We used to do a bit of flexi exercise, and then I'd do some Tai Chi afterwards, wouldn't I?
But I don't know how this will affect help with balance and help to prevent falls or help you to be able to save yourself if you do feel that you're going to go off balance.
I think anything that improves your posture, because posture is probably one of the most important things that you need to maintain so that you do stay stable, so you don't fall over, isn't it? Really, it's that posture, the way you walk, these things, aren't they? They're very important for stability. So, yeah.
And then, of course, for those who feel able, they can stand, and you can do exactly the same thing, standing up.
That's great. Did you have any other flexi exercises? You said you had quite a few exercises. Do you remember?
Seated, all the flexi exercises were seated. This was one.
Just bending the knee, bring the foot up. Did you bend the knee right up to as far as it would go? And
from my own experience, if you keep your foot upright, you get more benefit from it than when it's like this.
Okay. It's
And
also,
then, of course, you can do, if you're able, you can do your ankle circling in that position.
yeah. Or just, you can do it just like that, I suppose,
That's right.
can't you? You can lower your leg a bit. Yeah. It's all good stuff. People.
And this leg, this is my weaker leg.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's difficult to get it up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay at the moment.
One good exercise with this kind of thing is, if you notice, what we tend to do is from here, we tend to drop our leg. What you can try and do is just bring it down slowly, because that'll fill all the muscles. You'll feel the muscles if you do all these things slowly, won't you? Yeah, can you feel the muscles tensing as you do it slowly? Let your foot come down controllably. Can you feel that?
And when I had an injury when I was in my teens to this left knee, they wouldn't let me out of hospital until I could twitch my patella.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that when your legs are extended on the bed. You can twitch the patella, which is here, without moving that part of your leg. It's entirely the thigh muscles that do it. Mm. It's hard.
It is, yeah. How about your knees? Did you have any flexi exercises for your knees, particularly? Did you learn any?
Can't think of one, but there was
general...
certainly one for your head, by just turning your head gently
side to side,
from side to side,
and up and down as well.
And up and down as well, and of course shoulders. But it was a big movement.
Okay. Yeah.
A big movement.
Yeah.
Rather than what we do in Tai Chi or Shibashi, which is a small movement.
Yeah, different results, but that's good. Okay, so you got your shoulders, you got your neck. How about, did you do a circling head like this as we do in Tai Chi sometimes, where you just gently...
That's right. I think that also came.
Yeah.
But you can do all this standing or seated.
Now, of course, you do have to be very careful. You have to be very careful with rotating the head, because you can hurt your neck. So you've got to do it nice and gently, and don't go too far. Only with all these exercises, know your limits, isn't it? Is there?
If it begins to hurt, you stop.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. We're not into pain here, are we? No, nothing should hurt.
Myself, that the whole thing, a mix of some of the Shibashi exercises that are related to Tai Chi and Qigong, the whole thing benefits people who are not so young.
Yeah.
As long as you do it regularly and you do it gently, if you watch Strictly or Strictly Come Dancing fan, you can see sometimes they talk about posture.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
And again, riding, the equestrian riding, how the riders sit up so very straight on their horses.
Yeah.
I think about the Queen. She liked riding. And, well, she obviously did some riding for as long as she could.
I think one of the most important things about posture, to me, is how bad posture affects your breathing. If you're sort of slumped
That's
over,
right.
you're not breathing properly. So, even if you're playing a wind instrument or something like that, you'd want to have good posture, just so you're using your lungs and everything properly,
And
aren't
singers,
you?
instead of everything being squashed up together,
up.
it's giving it more room to be in the proper position it should be in.
Yeah. I'd like to, hold on. Yeah. I'd also like to, while you're sitting there, it'd also be quite nice to talk a little bit about breathing, because, if I come over here.
This is what I have always found difficult.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe
I
right.
hardly ever get a chest infection, but I'm always congested in the nose, and if I do endeavour to breathe properly, it helps to clear it.
Well, here is an exercise, another exercise we can do daily, any time of the day, isn't it? Breathing.
Yes, well, you're
Sitting
doing it
down.
all the time without thinking about it.
We're not always breathing properly though. Most of the time we're not actually breathing properly. So the first thing we do need to do is get our posture right. That is important. So feet on, so you've just got your posture, okay? So we're just going to do a little bit of breathing. So remember your dantian is down here. You've got all these muscles around here. Now what we tend to do in breathing is we basically use our shoulders to breathe. That's what we do most of the time. Our shoulders go up a little bit, not that much, I'm exaggerating it, but they do go up. So what we're going to try and do, instead of using our shoulders, we're going to use our stomach muscles, because we can use our stomach muscles to breathe. So as we breathe in, we want to relax these muscles here. So you can breathe in, you can feel and you can breathe deeply down into your dantian or into your stomach. Then as you breathe out, just gently squeeze your tummy muscles in. Squeeze them gently and let the breath come out. Relax, breathe in. Gently squeeze your stomach muscles to breathe out. So you're breathing from your stomach, you're breathing deeply, your breath will slow down, the oxygen in your blood will increase, your brain will work better, your body will work better, and you'll relax. All these just through breathing. So just do stomach breathing for a little while. And the other thing is, the really good thing about breathing from here is that every time you breathe, you're exercising those muscles gently. All your pelvic floor muscles, all your stomach muscles, they're all being used very naturally. You can shut your eyes and think about something nice. I like to think about pretty landscapes and things like that. I'm down by a lake at the moment looking across at some trees and some ducks. Do you feel more relaxed for doing your breathing? Going to sleep.
I could.
You could.
I
Absolutely.
could.
Of course you could.
It's good. And sometimes when I'm in bed, before I go off to sleep, I lie on my back and I do think about the way I'm breathing. And I can feel how much the way I breathe changes.
Yeah.
You can begin to feel the movement down here.
Yeah, breathing naturally, yeah. It's good, isn't it? It's really important. I mean, breathing is just...
Well, we do it without thinking about it, but when I think about it, it doesn't help. When I think about how I breathe, half the time I don't know whether I'm breathing in or breathing out.
Really? Isn't that funny?
I've always had that feeling.
Can you not feel your chest expanding slightly?
No, and I never feel my heart beating.
Never?
Hardly ever. As far as I'm
Really?
aware, I haven't got a heart.
I'm sure you have.
It sounds stupid, but when I start thinking about it, I realise I never feel my heart beating.
Oh, funny. And you can't feel yourself breathing either.
No, I don't even aware that I am breathing, except I do get this, what they call reverse nasal drop, and I get a lot of stuff coming down into my throat.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I can't blow it down my nose, it just goes down into my throat.
Yeah.
And then that makes my voice sound peculiar.
Right, so is that quite...
I've always been like that.
Oh, that's, I don't know if breathing helps that or not.
No, I don't know. I've struggled with it over the years for a long time. And yet, if for any reason I have my oxygen levels taken, it's nearly always 98.
That's good. So you obviously are breathing.
I'm obviously breathing reasonably well.
Yeah, you obviously are, aren't you? Better than most of us.
You've got a funny one.
Yeah, she doesn't breathe, but she's got 98% oxygen. Let's, I thought it'd be nice to do, now we're here, it'd be nice to do a couple of seated exercise, other seated exercises. And the one I mentioned to you yesterday, I think when we were talking about it, the one I'd like to have a look at is lifting the sky, which again we can do seated.
Yeah, yes.
So the thing about lifting the sky is a really nice one, especially in the morning, I find. It lifts the energy up from here, doesn't it? Because what you do, obviously because other people won't know how to do this, so we're better. So we sit very much in the posture that you said, knees 90 degrees, feet pointing forward, just as if we were doing it standing. And just start with your hands just down by your sides. And just check your, I better move away a little bit. Okay, and I wonder if that table's, I wonder if that video's still. Yeah, and the problem here is that I'm getting the table in front of me. So I think I'll put it over here. I mean, we're basically looking at you anyway, but okay, I'll get up here. Oops. Okay, so from there, we'll take our hands down by our sides and just let them drop down by the sides. Get into your posture, get your back nice and relaxed and your head in the right position. With any Tai Chi exercise, it's a bit like starting a car. You've got to do all the basics first. You can't drive away until you've turned the engine on and taken the handbrake off.
You've got to get virtually in the mood to do it.
You've got to get in the mode to do it. Now that means you've got to get your posture. So you start out with your posture. And then what we're going to do, we're going to just bend our elbows and bring our hands up to here. And then we're going to turn our hands in gently to here. Let your elbows go out a little bit, and the idea is that your hands are pointing, your fingers are sort of pointing towards each other with your palms facing down, okay? And hopefully you can feel nice and relaxed in your shoulders. So then we put the arms out, pushing out very gently, not hard, just very gently, keeping your elbows soft, making sure they're not too bent, they're not too straight. And just bring them up. When you get to head height, face height, start to follow the back of your hands with your eyes. And then tilt your head back gently as well. When it's at the top there, lift gently. Just lift a little bit, that's lifting the sky. And bring your head gently back to a level. And then just bring your arms out and feel your hands. Now when you get to here, your hands should be dropping down like so. They should be relaxed. Your head should be facing forward. You just bring your hands gently down by the sides. And there's lifting the sky. Should we do it again? So bend your elbows. Rotate your hands inwards so the fingers are pointing towards each other. Push outwards gently, keeping your arms bent, but just gently pushing out, lifting up to head height, to eye height. follow the backs of your hands with your eyes. When you can't follow your eyes any further, tilt your head back gently. Again, how far you bring your hands up is entirely up to you. If you bring your hands up to here, if that's as far as you can bring them comfortably, please do. Don't go any further. Stay within your comfort zone at all times. You do not have to lift your hands right up to here. And then head back down to level and out, relaxing your hands and your wrists out and down.
Now, to me, that is harder sitting down
Yes.
than it is standing up.
It is, yeah. It's harder, and that's another reason. I should say this to any audience that's going to be watching this. You know, it's as you said earlier on. You must always remember: be responsible, be careful, and work within your comfort zone. Don't do anything that's uncomfortable or that you don't want to do. If you don't want to do this exercise, don't do it. Under any circumstances.
That was harder.
That was harder.
Seated than it is standing up. Whether it's because I've always done it regularly standing up and I'm not used to doing it sitting down, but it was hard. I felt tense, whereas when I stand up and do it, I feel relaxed.
Yeah. There's pros and cons to however you do it. I think the seated one is basically for people that have problems standing for extended periods. And of course, the other thing is, with all these exercises, there is balance. And you may find that doing these movements unbalance you. So it's very important, again, that you do it all within your comfort zone and you feel comfortable within your balance. So let's have a look at your balance. Right. Good posture, shoulders down, head in the right position. Yep, okay, right. Here we go. Lovely, nice rounded, soft movements, lovely. Smashing, and then...
Oh, I've lost it. Wait a minute,
Right.
I probably wasn't starting properly.
Okay, here we go. Right then, bring your hands round to your dantian, hands down, like that, that's it, out, up. Right, start following with your eyes, move your head back, that's it. I don't mean back too far. Be very careful with balance. Lovely. And how does it feel?
Better than sitting.
Do you like that exercise? I really
I
like
like that
I
exercise.
really like that exercise.
And what was the other one I used to like? Painting a rainbow.
Oh yes,
I think that, when you're more able than I am now, is a lovely movement.
Yes, yeah.
But I've got stiff. I don't move as freely as I did.
Over the next few months, we're going to do regular Tai Chi, and hopefully it'll help. We'll make these videos for people to watch, and hopefully they'll improve as well.
So. And this other one, what was it they called it? Scooping the sea.
Yeah, or flying pigeon. There's lots of different names. I should say Shibashi is a type of Tai Chi. It is. It's not like Tai Chi. It is a type of Tai Chi. And it's a collection. Shibashi is a special collection of Tai Chi moves. That's all it is. Because all these moves exist in other forms of Tai Chi too. Shibashi was put together by a doctor, I think, a Chinese doctor who did it for a very specific reason. So that's good. Yeah.
And I first heard about it long before I knew you, long before I was introduced to it by another lady. It came originally, that my information about it, from Canada. Might be 20 years ago.
You've heard about it for a long time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And even little illustrations of all the movements.
Yeah. We will do all the Shibashi. We might even start with Shibashi and just
Well,
work
it's
through the Shibashi.
It's what we're trying to achieve, to help people who have a problem with balance for whatever reason, whether it's age or injury or whatever,
Yeah. And anyone can find the
that you can do without feeling too stressed or too worried.
Yeah.
And feeling that you're standing in a big space with nobody around you, and if you feel, oh, I can't go on or I've got to sit down, you've got your chair behind you.
Yeah. It's and of course, you know, there is more and more evidence of how beneficial these movements are. You know, it's just the doctors and
Well,
medicine
people, there's more. When you first started, people weren't tuned in to exercise as we are today.
Not in that. Yeah, it's true actually. Yeah.
That was what, 10, 12, perhaps 15 years ago?
I started Tai Chi about 20 years ago.
Yeah, but when you were beginning to offer it to the general public in one way or another.
About 17, 18 years ago.
That's right.
Yeah. But I mean, Tony's been teaching it for, well, 70 years.
All his life, virtually.
His whole life he's been doing it. He was a long way ahead of us.
But I feel that what you're aiming to do will be a bit different from some of the classes that are around that you pay for. You've got to get there, you've got to be able to do it and feel confident and benefiting from it. And I am obviously, to my thinking, benefit tremendously from going to the Shibashi class regularly for the best part of 10 years.
Yeah. Hopefully people will be able to follow you in the videos as well.
Some of it, as I say, I could have done better.
It's okay.
But I think the idea of the good posture and the fact that you're seated to start with, and you've got that chair for elderly people, gives you the confidence that you're going to have a go and you're going to benefit from it.
So if we can encourage people to try it,
That's right.
and enjoy it. Yeah. I mean, I've had lots of people over the years. I've taught it to lots of people. I must have taught over a couple of hundred people, I think. All this.
Well, when I think of how many children I've taught as a teacher over 30 years.
Imagine. That's every day. I don't teach Tai Chi every day.
Well, it was, and mostly in the Frome area.
Yeah. Thank you, Pam. That was great. Maybe next time I won't cut your head off when you stand up. So, a few starting out mistakes, you've got to expect that. Well, let's now look at one of the exercises that Pam demonstrated. It's one of the 10 dynamic patterns called Lifting the Sky. Over to you, Io. So, feet pointing forward, knees slightly soft, with me just slightly bent. Straight back, not military straight, but just subtly, gently straight, up, alert, would be a better word. Face pointing forward. Hands resting gently on your thighs. Okay? Okay. Bring your hands around to your dantian so the fingers are pointing towards each other at about waist, just below waist level, as I always. Pushing your hands outwards gently, lift them up. When you get to eye level, start following your hands upwards until they're above your head, or as far as you can go comfortably. It's very important with all Tai Chi exercises that you stay within your comfort zone at all times. Don't do anything that makes you feel unsafe or that you don't want to do. Very, very important. Bring the arms gently out to the side and your head back to level, and that's the move. Complete the move. Here we go again. We'll do it once more. Put your hands gently to your sides. Bring your hands round to the front and gently lift them upwards, pointing of palms outwards, straight to the top, out and down. Have a look from a few other angles. Hands round to the front. If we look from above, you'll notice here come the hands, fingers pointing towards each other. Don't worry if this all looks very complicated. We'll be going over it, and of course you can watch this video over and over again. There's lots of small details that we will be picking up as time goes on. Okay, elbows slightly bent, everything's soft and supple. Lifting up, palms pointing outwards, up, above your head, and then start bringing your head back down again. And hands to your side. We'll just look at one more perspective. Notice her back is not, as I call it, military straight back. Never is. It's just gentle. Just imagine there's a piece of string hanging out the top of your head and you're just being gently lifted up. Not so you're dangling, but just so you're not slouching. Try not to slouch. Nice and gentle. As you can see, Io's movements are not perfect, they're rather jagged, and what we're trying to get is nice, smooth movements.